Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you all. That was a fantastic stream from the one and only amazing, wonderful Paul Tranny. I hope you guys enjoyed his broadcast. He was making some pretty cool stuff. Hello, Adobe Live. Hello, Mark Jacobs. It's good to see you. Kel, Anthony. Oh man, so many familiar faces in chat. I'm very excited to be joining you guys for another week of the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. It's going to be super, super fun. And today I've got a really cool challenge laid out for you guys. We're going to be creating some templates for Instagram stories. And I have a bit of a confession to make. I have never, ever before posted an Instagram story. So this is like going to be really awesome because I'm going to be able to make some stuff that I'm going to use today on my Instagram. I hope you guys will join me in kind of posting with the templates you guys create, as well as kind of joining us on Discord and posting, even if you don't use them on your Instagram today. If you guys head over actually to the Daily Creative Challenge, I kind of want to go over not just today's information, but also just the project as a whole. For those of you who are just joining us today, you might not be familiar with the challenges that we do. But yeah, so this is the Daily Creative Challenge. You guys can get to this page by going to behance.net/daily creative challenge. And it'll bring you here where you can register for all of the awesome challenges we've been doing. We did 4 challenges last week, and we've got 5 more challenges coming up for you folks this week. And you guys can scroll down here and kind of look through all of the assets as they become available. The first challenge we did was a Facebook Assets challenge where we created some pretty cool templates and awesome infographic type things with the frame tool. And I kind of walked you guys through how you can make a really awesome eye-catching graphic for your Facebook events and announcements, even if you don't have illustrations and stuff like that of your own to promote. So that was really fun. The second day we experimented with blending modes and blur filters and text with images and stuff by creating internet memes, which was a hoot. Honestly, if you're not going to be joining us for the challenge today, I say join the Discord just to jump in there and see all the memes everyone posted because they were hilarious. We went over how to create a Twitter banner. For those of you who need some work on your branding on Twitter, which was really fun. We did some cool 3D text effects and added our other social handles and experimented with using textures and things for that. And then before I took off last week, we did some symmetrical illustration. So for those of you who are painters or who are illustrators, we did a pretty cool thing that you folks can get into and kind of be in your comfort zone a little bit, as well as people who have never tried illustration, kind of got to jump out of the comfort zone a little bit and create some cool mandalas and things like that. But as I said before, today we've got Instagram stories, and I know that some of you have already posted your designs in Discord, which you folks can check out if you go to the bottom of that page and click Join Us on Discord. It will take you over here where you can jump into the welcome chat and kind of check out all of the information for how to navigate our Discord, especially useful if you folks have never used Discord before, so that'll be very helpful. You guys can come in and introduce yourselves and talk amongst yourselves, and you guys can also come into the chat just for general discussions and hollering at each other and making friends. And you guys can also come to the design feedback where we ask that you post your creative challenge entries so that you guys can get some feedback from me, as well as wonderful people in chat, plus our awesome mentors and moderators like Sam Peterson and Kathleen Illustrated and Tim and all these fantastic people that I'm sure you all are familiar with because we get to see them every week. But yeah, so this is what everybody's posted so far. I see Transkys has already posted a piece using the template that I supplied, and it looks like Sarah D also created one for a spring sale, 50% off of entire purchase. This is pretty awesome. So you're using this straight up for your business branding. That is so awesome. But I can't wait to see what else you guys posted. We've got a lot of the previous challenges that folks have posted throughout the week. So this is a great place to jump in, see what people are making, maybe get some ideas and inspiration for today's challenge, and then start your own. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up my Photoshop. And what I'm going to do today is I've got the Instagram story template up that I've created for you guys. And I'm going to walk you through a few different designs and sort of attempts at creating something like this. I originally came up with this challenge because I don't really like making videos, like small videos of myself on Instagram stories, which is why I never really used them. And I could post my artwork, but then I'd be putting text and stuff all over my artwork for the post. So I wanted to make just a really nice kind of simple template that you can use to type a cool message to your followers and kind of stylize them to fit your branding. So I have included a frame, a little text frame here that you folks can use. But if you'd like to create your own, this is how I created this. This is kind of like a little space where you would put all of your text once you create your Instagram story. So I'm actually going to use this tool over here, which if I hover over it, it'll give me a little information. Yeah, it's the rectangle tool, or you folks can press U. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, and I'm going to come up to the top here, and I'm going to tell it to fill with white. And then I'm going to hit the stroke, and I'm going to turn the stroke off. And I'm going to drag a rectangle out right here, and I'm going to do Command T to transform, and I'm going to center this right quick. And if you folks remember from last week, we were talking about how to use these awesome guides to make sure everything is centered. If you are not seeing your guides as you're dragging your items across the canvas, you can do Command H, which will hide or unhide them so that you can see. And I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to scroll down until I find the nice midway mark here. Or I suppose you could technically put this wherever you want. I just want to make sure that it's at least centered for us, like so. There we go. And to get the nifty little border that I did, all I did was on the rectangle tool again, I actually turned on the stroke and filled that with white. And then I turned off the fill. So now we only have a stroke. And I can duplicate this, because what I wanted to do was make two of those. Or I can do, here, let's do Command Z to get that back, and I'm going to make a new layer before we start that new one. Here we go. All right, so we're going to drag this out. There we go. And again, we're going to turn the stroke on and fill it with white, and we are going to turn the fill off. Boom. And you can do Command T once you're done there, and transform that and kind of get a nice frame. Kind of drag that down, and there you go. So you guys can sort of use that and make yourself a frame. But we're actually going to experiment with a lot of different frame styles today. So if you're not keen on this frame, we've got some more stuff in store for you. So I'm just going to select both of those, and I'm going to group those and hide them, because we're going to use the original one I used. Just wanted to walk you through how I created it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some gradients and experiment with some cool patterns and things in the background, because what we want is to make this look like a fun, inviting graphic that people will want to pull up and look through and see what you have to say. So I am going to snag my gradient tool. You may remember using this tool from last week, because we added a little bit of pizzazz to some of our other projects. And I am going to select some fun colors. I'm going to make sure that I'm on the setting for my gradient tool that allows me to utilize my foreground and background color. And I'm going to come over here and click, and I'm going to select kind of a nice greenish blue color, because I kind of like the look of that. And then I'm going to select my background color, like so, and I think I'm going to select kind of a yellowy green. Maybe, or maybe actually maybe we can choose a serious blue, like a light baby blue. And I am going to, underneath my text frame, but above my background layer, I'm going to zoom out here so you can see my full canvas. And I'm just going to kind of drag across like that. And it'll give us a nice kind of gradient that kind of is like a lot of spring colors, which I think is perfect for this time of year. I'm also going to hide my instructions here since we don't really need to see those. And I'm going to pull up my libraries where I can find some interesting patterns that I've kind of saved for this project. You guys can use whatever patterns or textures you like in this, whatever suits you and your brand. I have got a kind of a simple one here that I'm going to drag and drop into our canvas. That kind of reminds me of like ice cream sprinkles. And I'm going to bump this up and I'm going to say enter, and then I'm actually going to duplicate it with Command or Control J, and then I'm going to do Command or Control T, depending on whether you're using Mac or PC. And I'm going to bump this down like so. There we go. And I'm going to select both of these layers. I've got one selected and I'm gonna hold Shift and I'm gonna click the other one, and I'm gonna do Command E to merge them together. So with Command E, you're basically merging all of the layers that you have selected together. And this is pretty cool, except that I kind of don't like the harshness of the black of this pattern. So I'm actually going to go Command I, and that's going to invert. And then I'm going to do Command, or I mean, you could do Command I if it was true black, which would make it true white. Or what you could do is you could do Command U, which will open up your hue and saturation, and you can bump that up. Bump up that lightness and kind of add an interesting kind of lighting there. It makes everything a little bit brighter, kind of matches a little bit better with our frame, and I like the look of that. Everything looks really fun, kind of like confetti or sprinkles flying around. It's like a nice announcement type thing. So I'm going to group all of this together. I really like this. I think this is kind of a fun thing to use for perhaps you're going to say like, oh, sale happening today, similar to how some folks in the Discord created theirs. But I'm going to group these, and then I'm actually going to do Command Shift S for save as, and I'm going to save this as Instagram story template number 1. And I'm going to save the PSD to my folder like so. And then I'm also going to save, I'm going to do Command Shift S, and I'm also going to save a JPEG that I can use for my Instagram stories and post to Behance. So down here in the format selection, we're going to select JPEG, and then I'm going to say save. So now I have my PSD and I have my JPEG stored in my file, and now we're going to jump into something a little fancier for these. I'd like to sort of combine some of the other things that we've learned throughout the week to kind of make something a little more intricate. Just in case you are not into the simplistic sort of minimalistic style that we've gone through for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drag in this nice marble texture. Or actually we could make something a little bit brighter. Let's use this marble texture. This is a little brighter. Let's use this, and we're going to utilize our gradients in a different way for this project. So I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to stretch that out and place this where I want it. And I'm going to hit Enter. And then I'm actually going to grab some interesting designs. Let's see, I really like this sacred geometry thing, and this is going to pull me into to Illustrator to snag this real quick. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go Command C to copy, and you can actually copy paste in between the programs. If you folks have just like a regular PNG that you'd like to import for yours, that's totally cool. Mine just happens to be formatted for Illustrator, and I'm going to go Command V. And paste, and I'm going to paste it as a smart object. So we've got this really cool kind of design here, and I'm going to do Shift to snap it, and I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to drag it out just to kind of give like an interesting little design in the corner here. And then I'm going to Command J to duplicate that, and then I'm going to Command T and transform, and I'm going to also put this interesting little motif down in the corner here. So I kind of like the way that looks. That's pretty awesome. All right, so I'm going to merge these by selecting, similar to how we did earlier. I'm going to select those with the Shift, and I'm going to do Command E, and that's going to merge that in. And then we're going to use a little bit of clipping mask magic. So I'm going to drag this pretty cool rose gold texture in here, and I'm going to rotate it to kind of encompass my whole file here, and I'm going to hold Alt and stretch that out. And the clipping masks are super fun because basically what you do is you're filling the layer that's just below the texture or whatever it is that you've dragged in with it. So I'm going to right click on this now that I have it in here, and I'm going to say create clipping mask, and it kind of clips a nice rose gold texture into those pieces. And similarly, I'm also going to open our some little paint swatches here. This is kind of just a nice, interesting little bit. And we can kind of select, like, I do like those circle ones, but maybe we can try this little square swipe here. We're going to do Command C again, and then we'll go back in here and go Command V, paste as Smart Object, and I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to drag this out again, and we're going to do the same thing. We're also going to use the clipping mask with that nice rose gold over the top, so I'm just going to drag that back in from my my libraries there, and I'm going to put that over and right click again and scroll down and find create clipping mask and do another clipping mask. And this is kind of really fun because this adds like a lot of texture and stuff to the piece so that it's a little fancy. And then we're also going to utilize our gradients. So underneath all of this clipping mask business here, which what I'll actually do is hold Shift again, like I did, to select everything in between the layer that I was already selected on, and I click the bottom most, you know, just to get all of that grouped and selected. And then I'm going to do Command G, which will group everything that I've selected. And I'm going to go in between that marble background and that group, and I'm going to grab my gradient tool again, but this time I'm going to use this setting, the foreground to transparent setting here, and I'm going to change my foreground color to this nice rose gold, maybe a little bit brighter, like so. And I am going to add, on a new layer, I'm going to do Command Shift in, and I'm going to name this Gradient. And I'm actually going to add some cool gradients to the corners here, and then we're going to experiment with some blend modes. Because I think what would be really cool is if we made some of that gray and that marble a little more rose gold to match with the rest of our motif that we've got going on. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to actually put this on lighten, and you can see it kind of makes everything a little more pink tinged, but it leaves the brightness of the marble underneath it alone. So we're going to leave it like that. You can even go a step further and drag your texture. If you've been using kind of the same texture throughout yours, you can even drag that in and stretch that out and put this on a lighten as well, which would even make it look a little bit more like rose gold veins through there. So that's another pretty cool design that we could do. I'm going to group all of that together right quick. And then real quick, we have just a tiny bit of time left to do one more, I believe. We'll do kind of a dark one. If you guys are like me, you kind of like the spooky, dark, creepy motifs. So I'm going to grab this, this dark marble, put that in there. And I do kind of want to tone the veins down in this, so I'm actually going to make a new layer underneath. I'm going to grab my paint bucket tool, which you can find again by holding your left click on the gradient tool and selecting the paint bucket tool. And I'm going to paint bucket this dark color underneath here, and then I'm going to turn our marble down to a lower opacity. And I'm going to select another more intricate sort of geometry design here. I really like this diamond one, so I'm going to go Command C, and then we're going to page down, and I'm going to throw this into our Photoshop here with Command V as Smart Object, and I'm going to make this a little larger, and I'm going to throw this up here. And you can duplicate your cool designs if you'd like to bring in geometrical designs as many times as you like, just to kind of get a nice texture around. We're going to go Command E and merge those, and I'm going to do Command J and Command T just to duplicate and then transform this again to get kind of a fill our canvas here. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to merge those together, and I'm going to grab our gold, our true gold here. I'm going to flip that around, and I'm going to transform this out by holding Alt while we resize. And I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do another create clipping mask to add some really nice gold over the top of that. And then we can do the same thing we did before. We can grab a nice paint swipe here. This one's pretty nice. And do Command C, and then we'll paste that in here as a smart object. Boom. Kind of drag that out like we did all of the others and center it however we like. I even want to kind of stretch that out like so. And then we'll do the same thing. Grab a nice gold texture. We'll slap that over the top there, kind of transform it out like so, and then another clipping mask. It's very, very easy to do this with the clipping masks. I used to be kind of afraid of using it because I wasn't sure how to do it, but now that I've gotten started, I've been using clipping masks like crazy to create cool designs like this. But there we go. There's another really awesome looking thing to use as your Instagram story frame. And it's kind of a cool take on, instead of just having the plain rectangle in the center there, kind of making things even more fancy. So yeah, once you've finished your pieces, you can save them out. So we'll save this one again. We're going to go Command Shift S, and we're going to save this as Instagram Story Template 2, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Boom. And I'm going to save, and then we're going to save the other one as well. I'm going to kind of group all of this stuff that we just did and Shift, and I'm going to do Command G, and I'm going to hide it, and I'm going to unhide the one that we did underneath it, and I'm going to do the same thing, Command Shift S, and I'm going to make this template 3, save it as a JPEG, boom, save. And then what you can do once you're finished with yours is you can either come in here to the Discord, like I'm doing now, and press this little plus button here, and snag your designs and share them with us. Let's grab one of these. Share your little templates here, or you can actually go to Behance. Did that upload? Hopefully. Can snag it right there. We can try it again. There we go. So you can share with the community in the design feedback channel on our Discord, and then you can also go to your Behance and maybe edit a project that you've already had going with your DCC challenge entries for this past week. I'm going to edit mine. This is the one that I have going here with all of my pieces. I'm going to go edit like so, and I'm going to scroll down here to the space that I've made for the next challenge, and I'm going to rename this Instagram Stories. Turn my caps on. And then I'm going to click here and add my files. Just like that. It's so quick and easy to edit an existing Behance project and upload all of your new work. I sincerely hope you guys do, because this is a great way to sort of start filling up your portfolios if your portfolio is looking a bit empty. And also just to share with the community that wasn't able to be here today all of the cool things that you guys created. So I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to go to my profile, and as you can see, you can scroll down through here now, and I've got all of my Instagram story pieces that we created today. So this has been super fun. I can't wait to see the story templates that you guys create and what you guys sort of did along with me. I'm definitely going to be in the Discord along with our wonderful mentors that you guys recognize here in chat, sort of giving you guys feedback, giving you guys pointers, and just looking through all of the wonderful things you've created. Thank you guys again for joining me. It's been spectacular. I will see you tomorrow for an awesome day of Photoshop design. I'll see you later.